Welcome! Yes, you made it to another installment of the Gordon Miller Show podcast, episode 42. Yes, episode 42. So, everyone, thank you again for coming by the channel and watching the video podcast. So, yeah, I wanted to take a moment, and it seems like everybody gets stuck in nostalgia sometimes, and which is fine. I'm guilty of it too. You perhaps are guilty of it too. It all depends on the individual. Anyway, just kind of checking something down here. Okay, yeah, we're good. Anyway, like I say, the nostalgia that I'm referring to, you're probably thinking, well, what are you talking about? Just get to the point there, Gordon Miller Show podcast, video podcast. Okay, I added that in there. The topic I want to talk about is comparing football history to other football history. For example, the What If Bowl. Now, it's very interesting to talk about. Oh, do you think would have won between the 1997 Denver Broncos and the 1984 LA Raiders? Someone would say, a Raiders fan would say the Raiders. A Broncos fan would say the Broncos. As a Bronco fan, I don't know who would win. But I know the main focus for that season would be to play your opponents, to beat your opponents. That was all it is. It's not like you have to be the greatest team of all time. If you win, you win. That's the main thing. You play your opponents. Like, a lot of people will say, well, those athletes from the 1950s and 60s couldn't compete with us. Now, how do you know that? For one, I mean, maybe bigger, faster, stronger, but back then they were meaner, tougher, more disciplined. Didn't celebrate over little plays. Didn't celebrate a touchdown, act like they've been there. Meaner, tougher, who knows? So, and I'm not saying that about, I'm not saying every team back then or every athlete back then was like that, but that could be now. Bigger, meaner, and tougher athletes. But the thing is, you win your game. You play your opponents, and you play your opponents. You don't play an opponent from 1978. You just don't. You don't do that. So it's not like that big of a deal if you, why would you care? The 2025 Detroit Lions are not worried about the 2024 Detroit Lions. Or, they're worried about who you play and who you're going to go against. I'm not a Lions fan. Again, I'm a Broncos fan. And then another thing is, like, everything's set in stone. All these fans, they're just, even prognosticators and individuals get paid millions of dollars to talk about how successful their team's going to be. Everything's won on paper. Everything's played on paper, just like this What If Bowl. I mean, athletes nowadays, like, we were better than teams back in the 1970s. Well, how about teams from the 2070s? Do you think we should just stop? Do you think the athletes nowadays should just stop playing because they probably might not be able to beat a team from the 2070s or the 2080s or the 3080s or the 4060s? Years and eons into the future. Your opponent you play, and just like back then, I don't think that when they call the play, that they thought, well, maybe we wouldn't be able to beat a team from 2025. Like I say, they don't care. They don't care about those teams from yesteryear, or you don't care about a team from the future. I mean, what do you do? Suspend football? Do you just stop playing and say, well, we might not be able to beat those teams from the year 5 million or 500 million or 500 billion? Well, by that time, who knows? There'll be sports. So it's like this. You just take care of your opponents. You take care of who you're going to play. And that's all you got to do. It's not like when the coaches call play, they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't call play because, in years in the future, you play your opponents, and that's what you do. You don't worry about, what if bowl. Like teams from the 1960s and 70s, I mean, that's all some people can think about. Well, we would have beat them by 40 points or smaller. Like, they don't give a rat's hiney. How do you, honestly, they weren't that small. I mean, there are a lot of athletes, a lot of tackles, offensive tackles are 6'5", 6'6", close to 300 pounds, Yeah, who knows? I mean, you can't compare. I mean, back then, you could do anything to a offensive player. Like offensive players nowadays, it takes a lot of skill to be a defensive player nowadays. And back then, it took a lot of skill to be an offensive player. A lot of skill to be a quarterback, because I'm not saying offensive players couldn't play now, couldn't play back then. I'm not saying that at all. But it's like this. Do you think they really care about they focus on their weakest opponent, the week that you have in preparation, like when the Vikings play the Bears? Do you think the Vikings and Bears players and coaches are thinking, well, maybe we wouldn't be able to compete against the 2097 Bears and Vikings? Are the year 3000? Are the years 10,000? What if they're better? That you play your opponents, and you know that, and I know that, and they know that. So the what if bowl is kind of silly. I mean, it's nice to talk about, or it's not nice to talk about. It's really kind of silly. Who do you think would have won between, the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Yeah, probably during the regular season. You could argue that the 2020 or 2002 Tampa Bay would have won, and then the playoffs 2020 Tampa Bay would win. You just don't know. You play your opponents that you're across from the field, they're across the field, that they're on the sideline when you get inside the gridiron, and you play that opponent. You don't play the team from 3,000 years in the future or 40 years ago. You don't play against those teams. You play your current opponent, and maybe you didn't realize that, but maybe you thought, well, maybe what I'm telling you is all new. I hope not. I would think that it would be something that would be kind of logical and but some people don't know that. I mean, honestly, some people probably are sitting there, well, I don't think this team would have beaten the 2013 Seahawks. No. Or I don't think I don't think they would be able to. The 2001 New England team wouldn't be able to beat the 2025 New England team. I'm like, what? And there's some individuals out there like that, believe it or not. I mean, you may think I'm just over exaggerating, but there's individuals that do that, and you play your opponents. That's all you do. You don't play anybody else. You can't play the team from the last year. You play your opponents. That's all you can do. So anyway, thank you very much for stopping by the Gordon Miller Show podcast. I think this turned into be a lecture. I didn't really mean it that way, but anyway, hey, thanks so much for watching / listening to this video podcast. Remember, just go out there and have fun. That's another thing. If you're a sports player, if you're in sports, just have fun. All right. And listen to the coach. All right. Thank you.